Hi guys, I'm Danky Dan here with Roll Your Own the series, and today we have a phenomenal episode for you. We are at a CBD farm with Dr. Eric I. Mitchell, and we're going to do an interview, and we're going to talk a little bit about CBD, osteoporosis, and what goes into building a farm like this.
I'm Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Eric I. Mitchell. I'm a graduate out of the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine, as well as I did my double fellowships there, as well as my orthopedic residency and internship. What's really important here is not my past, but really the future. And the future is going to be, how do we get rid of plastics? How do we fight osteoporosis? How do we get building materials that don't mold? So there are 50,000 utilization that has gotten this orthopedic surgeon, sports medicine specialist to become a farmer. And unfortunately, for the last 83 years, we don't know what we already knew. We knew that that cannabis sativa was a very effective medicine that goes back about 12,000 years. However, politics got in the way back in 1937 when they instituted a marijuana tax act. And I might add that the United States government misspelled the word marijuana. Number one, they made it up, and then they misspelled it several times. And then it was vilified and demonized in 1937 with a movie called Reefer Madness. That's correct. And then we went to 1970 where they criminalized it by virtue of making it a controlled substance. And until 1937, it was in all of our medicine cabinets.
So this is a CBD plant.
This is a hemp plant, and hemp has three basic different varieties. It has a seed, okay, there is a fiber, and there's oils. It's still cannabis sativa L. Okay. Now, when you have a high level of THC, it's called medical cannabis. And we have a terrible, terrible way of demonizing things and calling it Mary Jane, calling it pot, calling it weed. And as long as we continue that vocabulary, then we will continue to play out what oftentimes the government wants to play out. Okay?
Definitely.
It's cannabis, and there's medical cannabis and there's industrial cannabis. And this is one of the three industrial elements. There are more than 50,000 utilizations for cannabis sativa.
Wow.
For industrial hemp, more than 50,000. It's all about the 21st century. By 2030, the average life expectancy in America is 90.3 years. 1 in 3 children born today will live to 100. Now, there's a natural diminution of the calcium that we lose in our bones that makes it very hollow, very porous, and very brittle. Let's take the oil out of this field, and let's test it and give it to the mouse model that we have from NIH, and see whether we can help to reverse. Okay, it's already done around the world. I think China has already done some research. I think Italy has already done some research. We have been in a conundrum, okay, away from research because of the DEA restrictions on doing research. And we gotta try to overcome that ignorance by virtue of education. So I hope that your program will certainly, make people understand there's a lot to learn about industrial hemp. Definitely. And now's the time.
Definitely, and that's why we're out here, traveling the state, visiting with fine people like yourself to try to get that message out there, on both spectrums, on the medical cannabis side and the industrial cannabis side.
We lost 54,000 people last year, secondary to overdoses, and 78% of them start in doctors' offices. So I was always very careful. And then the program kind of got ignited in Maine about 5 years ago, and I said, let me do it, because I believe that I want to write less, DEA prescriptions. Well, I want to thank you all for coming out today to take a look at innovation. And yet it's not innovation as much as a renaissance. And a renaissance is nothing new, it's just a rebirth. And this is a rebirth of us understanding that plastics have to go. Okay, and I want to move from hay to hemp. All right, everybody in this farming industry worries about their hay, and I think we have a better solution, and I think that's called hemp. And that's another whole entity out there for grains, for animal feed. Now, let me tell you one thing about people and their animals. When I talk to people about CBD, more people know about CBD because they're giving it to their animals opposed to themselves. So they know, and I guess maybe testing it on their next of kin, their dogs, their cats, and what have you. So that's going to be really important. But the most important thing for you to do is go out there and learn about what industrial hemp can do for you and what you can do for industrial hemp. Please and thank you.
This is Eugene Coombs.
And I'm Dr. Eric I.
And I'm Danky Dan. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to Roll Your Own the series. We'll see you next time.